Welcome to another episode of Relax Reviews, where we just sit here and relax like a couple idiots in robes, you know?
Yup, and have a good old cup of Jewel.
Oh yeah. Terrifier 1 and 2 are both written and directed by Damien Leone, and he provided the special effects for both films. Terrifier 1 stars Jenna Connell as Tara, Catherine Corcoran as Dawn, and David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. Which, by the way, he does a great job.
Yeah, he does.
He's super creepy.
Yeah, he's a really good, we call it body actor.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jim Carrey.
Yeah, actually, it's true.
Yeah.
Like Jim Carrey.
Terrifier 1 and 2 basically have the same plot, really. I mean, it's basically just a clown that goes on, terrorizes a town in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But the second one does go a little more in depth in terms of character, and it has a little more substance to it than the first one does. But we're reviewing both Terrifier 1 and 2, but since 2 is still in theater and fresh and new, we're not going to get into spoilers there, but the first one came out in 2016, so about 6 years ago, so we are going to get into more spoiler territory.
Yeah,
with that
it's
one.
older. So in Terrifier 1, it's Halloween night, and Tara and her friends are out partying. After the party, they go to a restaurant when a clown walks in, who is obviously Art the Clown. He sits down, like adjacent from them, and he just stares at them, and it's super creepy.
Yeah, it is.
His facial expression, well, obviously a big part of it is the makeup, you know, and the prosthetics or whatever you want to call it, makes him look just amazing. So Tara is freaked out, but her friend is just kind of playing it off, and she even goes over to Art the Clown and takes a selfie with him and then sits back down. It's just, which by the way, later in the film, Art takes a selfie with her.
Yeah.
But in a different situation though. And then Art goes to the bathroom, and Tara, freaked out as she is, convinces her friend to leave, so they get up and leave. And then this is when stuff gets really real. So Art poops all over the walls in the bathroom, okay? And one of the workers goes in there and, he's obviously pissed off, and he goes to clean it up. And then all hell breaks loose, and Art murders everybody in there. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I actually had a kill just like the Halloween from 2018 with how they carved out his head.
Mm-hmm.
They do the exact same thing with him and set his head on the counter and have candles in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the wax running down his eyes and mixing with the blood. It's actually kind of cool.
It's really
effect.
cool.
Yeah. And then after the restaurant, we eventually get to basically the pivotal part of the film where the rest of the film is set, which is at an old, it looks like an abandoned apartment building.
Is it abandoned?
I don't know. They're bombing it to get rid of rats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But basically, Tara has to go pee, and she gets in there and actually gets locked in by Art the Clown, of course. But that's eventually when he starts terrorizing the guy who's bombing the place, and then he goes and gets his friend Samantha from the car and kidnaps her, and then strings her up and leads to the most famous death scene from the film. It's actually
she's upside down, by the way.
Yeah, and
she's chained up to. I can't remember exactly what it is. Is she chained up to the ceiling or something like that?
Something like that.
I can't remember, but
she's hung upside down either way. But
he saws her from her hoo-hoo down to the tip of her head, all the way straight down with a saw.
Yeah, almost split in half, but there's a little bit of her head left that's keeping her halves together.
And it looks really good, which makes it all the more disgusting to watch.
It's pretty gruesome, especially because Tara has to sit there and watch it while it's happening because she's tied up to a chair.
Yeah, Tara has to watch her friends being sawed in half.
Yeah.
I mean, can you even imagine that?
I'd be one sawing in half.
Yeah, it'd be you. Why would it be you? Oh, you'd be the one with the saw.
Yeah.
Sawing me in half.
No, actually, I would be the saw. I'll go from your taint down to your head.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh, man. There's a scene where Art peels this woman's skin off and then wears it like a costume.
Yeah.
And he's walking around all feminine-like. And, again, he does such a great job with his body performance.
Yeah.
It's just incredible, and it's really creepy.
Yeah, well, he does so good because he actually used to, mime inside that. He knows how to do body movement and doesn't have to speak or anything. He doesn't have to vocalize,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
And it actually reminded me a little bit of how Joker moved in the Joker film from a couple years ago. Kind of reminds me of that, the way he moves.
Which is funny because both of them are clowns. So we're kind of skipping around here, but we don't want to give the entire film away. But basically, Art is surrounded by police, and he takes a gun out of his boot. He turns around, he shoots himself right in the head. He dies, and then we're in a morgue, you know, so he's in a body bag, and the morgue dude, forgot what you call him, he opens up the bag, and Art is staring at him, and then the lights start flickering, everything going crazy, and then the lights turn back on again, everything's normal again. Then the dude turns around, looks at Art, and he sits up, and yeah, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah,
something, we don't know what, but some unseen force apparently resurrected Art the Clown.
It reminded me of an old Grindhouse film from like the 80s.
Yeah.
In a way, just the brutality, the style.
Yeah.
Like, and the musical scores too had like a 80s synth.
Damien even said that it's based on older grunge house type horror films from the past. And you can tell. And the cinematography, it's very interesting. And not just cinematography, but the color grading as well. The highlights are all blown out. The shadows are all underexposed. It's very saturated. The blood stands out a lot. Yeah. Everything kind of pops off the screen. It looks a lot different than most modern movies for sure.
And there's a lot of
very interesting.
A lot of blue side lighting.
So I think we'll give Terrifier 1 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I agree. 3 out of 5. It was a good time.
Yeah.
But there's some imperfections with it, but it's a really fun movie to watch if you want to watch a good gory.
But we can definitely excuse some of the imperfections because it only had a budget of $35,000.
Very minuscule.
Very
shoestring. Which I respect, though. I like that.
So the second film picks up right after the first, and we're introduced to new characters. Sienna is played by Lauren Lavera. Her brother Jonathan, played by Elliot Fulham, and Sienna's friend Brooke, played by Kaylee Hyman. And this one is also written and directed by Damien, who also, again, did the special effects, which are incredible. He's really good at it.
He did even better with this one.
Yeah, the effects are even better
than
the first one, which is insane because the effects on the first one are really good.
Yeah. There's some really gory stuff in this one. Yeah, so we're not going to get any main plot details or character arcs or anything like that. We want, obviously, you to see yourselves. Yeah. And I actually would recommend probably go trying it out.
Yeah, well, if you have the stomach for it.
Yeah.
Fair warning, it is very violent.
Yeah.
I would say even more so than the first.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the violence, there's a scene that is almost, if not as bad as the sawed in half scene. Actually might be a little worse, maybe. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's pretty gruesome, and it goes on for a while, too.
Cool effects, though.
Yeah, very cool.
Awesome effects. But something I like a lot more in the second one is that they actually fleshed out the characters a lot more in the second one. There's actually good backstories and things that they had to deal with on a personal level with each character, and it's actually really neat what they did with it. Obviously, we can't say, but I like what they did. It actually made you attached to the characters.
Yeah.
Unlike the first one, which I liked the characters from the first one too, but I didn't really feel attached to them. This one I actually did.
Yeah.
Like I was
Me too.
rooting for them.
So Sienna and Jonathan's mother, I don't want to say anything bad about the actress, but there's a little bit of overacting. Yeah. And I'm not sure if it was Damien's directing or if it was the actress herself who made the decision, but she's just a little over the top sometimes.
Yeah.
Because throughout the film, she's often angry at her children, and I don't know, she just kind of does it in the, like I said, over the top kind of way. Like she raises her voice too much, and it's a little overdone.
Yeah, it is. Like,
in terms of acting, that's really my only complaint, I think.
Yeah, everyone else like, but she didn't do a bad job.
No,
this is a little much. She could have probably brought it down a notch or two, but for the most part, everybody did a really good job, though.
So the cinematography in the second film, it's very similar in terms of camera movements, the camera placements, the color grading, but it does look a little more professional.
Yeah, I think the cinematography actually in the second one's a lot better and more tight knit. Like they actually had a lot of good push-in shots and good, more tracking shots.
It was a little more dynamic.
Yeah, I basically liked everything about the second one. I think they elevated it and made it better in the second one, which is good though. You should always try to
of course it's
up
good.
Your first film. That's why I actually respect it so much, is because it actually elevated everything in the second one to a higher level.
Yep.
And most sequels don't do that. They usually kind of downfall, but this one actually did a really good job in bringing everything up.
Yeah, the second one is better in every way.
Yeah. Not that the first one isn't bad either.
No.
I did enjoy myself, but the second one had a lot more going for it, just in terms of more gore, more character, more style. I like the scores too. The soundtrack was really good in the film.
And the second one had a budget of $250,000, which is obviously more than the $35,000 from the first one, but it's still very low budget though.
And what they did with it, that was even crazier.
What Damien was able to do with such a low budget is insane.
Yeah, very impressive.
Very.
I have a lot of respect for the guy. So I'm going to say for Terrifier 2, because I liked the characterization more, cinematography, the score, the brutality, and everything all around. I'm going to give it a solid 4 for me.
Yep, same 4. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next time, and we'll see you there.
See you later.
Yep.